Hello everyone and welcome. Let me just start this up right here. We'll start our countdown as I welcome everybody aboard. We are here, we are live, and yes, we are off. With Kerbalism, you can never be too sure. So why don't I start off by just explaining what the launch-in is here. You've seen this vessel before. This is the Nerv 1. But I got it written up here. This is the Nerv 1-SN2. Yes, this is serial number 2. It is an exact duplicate of the Nerv 1 that is currently parked at Minmus Station. And this one is actually going to be going to the same place. I want to bring a whole new crew over to Minmus Station and then bring the crew that's there down to Kerbin's surface so that they can do... they can bring their samples back with them, because what I really want is the science. And in the next 2 or 3 streams, what I'm looking for is I really want to build myself a single stage to orbit space plane, but I'm still lacking the science that I want to build the space plane that I want. So this is really just about science. Now, there's nobody aboard this thing. This is really not, it doesn't have any kind of launch escape system. It actually can't even descend down to the surface safely on its own. It's got no parachutes or wings or anything like that. This is meant as a completely stay in space type of vessel. So once I've got this thing launched, once I have this thing in orbit, it's designed to stay in there. So this is going to be my second of 2 roundabouts that are runabouts that I'm going to have to be able to boot in and around the Kerbin system. And probably having 2 of them is not really a bad idea. And you'll be getting a good look at it in just a little bit. And we are inserting it, by the way, into a 120 kilometer orbit. Hopefully that is what I set it at when I wrote this. And it's going into an orbit with a 6-degree inclination. If you look down here at the Navball, you can see it's a little bit north of going due east at a heading of 83 degrees, and that's so its final inclination will be 6 degrees. And the reason for that is so that it will be in an orbit that's in the same plane as Minmus's orbit, which will make going out to Minmus cheaper and easier. And then once this thing is in orbit and inserted, we will be sending up a Puff 2 SN- I think it's SN3 it's actually on, and that will be bringing up our crew, and it will dock with this thing. This thing's not going to a station. We're just going to park it, and then we'll bring the crew up to it. So, yeah, that is going to be the plan. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'll talk about a couple of housekeeping items here. Oh, we're about to lose our radial boosters. There they go. Onto our last engine. That is a good thing. And pretty soon we're going to be losing the fairings. There they go. And there is our vehicle in all its glory. And again, if you've been watching any of the streams over the past several streams, we're getting a bit of a wobble happening here. Can't say I like that. Let's see if I turn down the gimbal limit on this. That's got it calmed down a little bit. Okay. If you've watched any, probably these guys too. They're not doing anything. They don't need, let's turn the authority limiter right down to 0 on those. There we go. That probably will take care of the wobble. If you've watched any of my last few streams, you've seen a vessel virtually identical to this one. This isn't really anything new. It's heavily shielded against radiation that comes with Kerbalism. It can house up to 6 Kerbals. It's got a lot of life support on there. They can survive for, I think, months. Right now, it's saying it's all perpetual because there's nobody consuming anything. And it has, I think, fully fueled 2,300 meters per second at Delta V, which is enough to go to Minmus, come back, go to the moon, come back, even stick its nose out of Kerbin's SOI should it want to. All right, we're going for an apoapsis of 120 kilometers, and right now it's just passing 90, and at that point it should cut the throttle. But anyway, just to deal with a few housekeeping items, I want to welcome aboard my most recent patron who joined while I was on my little vacation last week. So welcome aboard, Cookie Man. Your support, as the support of all of my patrons, of course, is absolutely essential to keeping this channel going. And if you want to support this channel through Patreon, there is a link down there in the description and you can join the wonderful crew. And for your Patreon subscription, you get videos early and access to craft files like this one and various other things that I can dream up with at the time. All right, we are now in space, and it is orienting itself, getting ready for the insertion burn. I know right now it's looking like it's completely pointing the wrong direction, but that's because we're still over 7.5 minutes away from the burn. Okay, let's get out to that burn. Oh, that is Kerbal Alarm Clock, who's warning me there's a burn coming. I've got that set up to do that automatically, and that is appreciated. And this isn't going to be much of a burn. 83 meters per second for the final insertion here. I don't know how many ignitions are left on this thing. I always sort of... Oh, it's still got... Whoa, whoa, whoa! I was doing too many things at the same time. There we go. It's fine. It's all good. Oh, got 40,000 Kerb bucks for my massive scale launches strategy. This is one of the bigger things that I do launch. Okay, we are in 121 by 121. That is perfectly fine. Let's put on the brakes. And that should deploy this. This will give us access to... I think it should be able to... Let's actually... I think I can deploy these a little further. Let's do a little further. There we go. That's so I can get my shuttlecraft in here. Otherwise, I think this is good. Let's run our alignment script for the solar panels. I take a week off and I don't remember what any of my thingies are here. There we go. Let that go. Also, as a housekeeping item, last week I crossed over the 10,000 subscriber threshold. Thank you, everybody that have subscribed to this channel. It really does help to see the channel continually grow. That keeps me motivated to keep doing this. And as a celebration of that, I am going to do a special marathon on Wednesday. It's a 10,000 subscriber, 10-hour, 10 years of KSP marathon. That's going to be completely 100% stock. I'm going to play this game for 10 hours straight and hopefully not be too punchy by the end of it. Okay, I think this is all set. And that's going to be Wednesday. It'll be starting at 10 p.m. Oh, no, sorry. Yes. Let me get this right. No, 10 a.m. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to Space Center. 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which I believe is 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And if you're in a different time zone than any of those, you'll have to sort of work out what that time's going to be. But that's going to be Wednesday coming up. All right. We'll get back here to the Space Center. And we'll get another one going here. I'm getting asked, do I have any tips for KOS? And I hear Cheers Kevin coming up. See Cheers Kevin coming up in the chat as well. I think Cheers Kevin is a great place to start when it comes to KOS. I would definitely recommend his channels and his videos for newbies. Okay, let's bring up the Puff 2. This will be the Puff 2 SN3. There's already 2 of these up there docked with the station, but this one's not going to the station. And we got to put some Kerbals in here. This is going to house some Kerbals. And I already I'm going to put Valentina. I always like to have at least one veteran, and she's never been to Minmus. She's never even set foot on the surface of another body, so I think Minmus is a good choice. And then basically I went down, who have I not used in a little while, you know, thinking about more pilots and scientists and engineers. We're going to put in Mac the G. Kerman. We are also going to put aboard Philippe D.S. Kerman, another scientist, 2 scientists to, because this is going to be pretty much about science, and we need an engineer, and for our engineer, we're going to put aboard Joe O. Kerman. Okay, that should do that. I don't think I really need to think about much of anything else, so let's just launch this. Yep, let's do it. Should be all ready to go. I'm paranoid now that I got Kerbals aboard. When I said the 2 p.m., I meant Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. I cannot keep track of which countries do summer or daylight savings times and which countries don't, and frankly, it comes right down to specific regions within those countries. It's one of those confusing and silly things I think that we do. Okay, here we go. We got our 4 Kerbals here. And we got to target our ship. So go back to target selection here. Ships, and this is the Nerv 1-SN2 that we're going to target. And oh my golly, let's turn all this off. That way. There we go. There's our ship there. I am debating. I just realized, yeah. We're rendezvousing with something. You know what? Let's do this right. When you're going, I'm rendezvousing with something that is in a inclined orbit. So what I really should do is do the rendezvous when I'm underneath the orbit. And of course, we just passed it because this ship just went in. So I got Kerbal Engineer keeping track of when my next relative ascending or descending node is. It's in 2 hours and 46 minutes. It's going to be on the other side of the planet. It's going to be for a night launch, unless I go all the way around for one more day. But maybe that's not entirely a bad idea. Okay, let me get this started and then I'll explain. So we're going to end up watching this time here. We've got 11 minutes to go until we're at the equatorial descending node for this orbit. And then we're going to launch 6 degrees towards the south. And it's good to launch a few minutes early because it takes a few minutes to get up there. So let's get ready to do this. So, run, launch. You go 6 degrees towards the south. We're going to an 80-kilometer orbit, so we're a little bit south. That will give us our wiggle room. There we go. Of course, I'm using my KOS launch script. All right, this is off. And we're going. And I do have installed, this is why a night launch might not be entirely a dumb idea, is I finally did install minimum ambient light something. What's it? Here it is, right here. Minimum ambient lighting. There we go. Which adjusts the minimum ambient lighting. I can just use this slider, and you can see it goes like. I think I'm going to reset that back to the default, and I'll keep it on the default. And if people let me know in the chat how you're seeing it, because how you see it on the other end of YouTube, depending upon what your monitor's like, and how I see it can be entirely different. My main monitor for my computer actually handles blacks really, really well. But it's always once the video is published that I suddenly realize, oh my gosh, this is really, really dark. So if you think it looks fine, that's great. If you think it still looks too dark, I'll just turn up the settings right now, and we'll use this as sort of like, you'll be my guinea pigs, my testers as to where you think the light settings should be. Because you're better at judging this from where you are than I am from where I am. Because for me, it always looks fine. I'm hearing in the chat that thinks it works fine. That's good. All right, so yeah, this is my Puff 2. I should rename it SN3. I don't think I can. I'll rename it once we're in orbit. Or maybe once the fairing's gone. My little LKO ferry. And basically, the space plane I want to build, I want to use to replace this is really what I'm after. But I want me some better jet engines and rocket engines for that. It can also house up to 6 Kerbals. Michael's saying it looks okay. All right. Philo's saying looks fine. I'm always conscious with turning it up too high. the ambient light because it tends to just kind of wash things out. What's nice about the mod is you can set different settings for when you're on the day side, when you're on the night side, and when you're streaming. And I'll have to get in there and play with all those settings. Okay, where are we at? Oh, we're still going here. Still on the single main booster. You'll be losing that very, very shortly, and then we'll lose the fairing. Oh, we did not stage. Why? That was weird. Okay. I don't know. It should stage automatically. Sometimes those smart parts fail. I just staged it. The program's still running fine. I just had to stage that manually for some reason. Everything's still good. I'm being asked by Felix, do I like KSRSS? So is that like a real solar system type of deal? I've not played ever. And that might seem funny to people, but I've never played real solar system. I probably should. I played Je ne sais quoi for some time just privately and really, really enjoyed that. That is it ups the scale a little bit. So instead of playing a 10th scale solar system, which is basically what KSP is, it plays a quarter scale solar system. But then what's the challenge is to play Je ne sais quoi, but don't put in sort of real solar system type parts. Like you got to do it still with the stock parts. And it's really nice if you find KSP too easy. I have to be careful when I say that. But if you find KSP too easy and you find it's too easy to get to orbit, too easy to get to places, try Je ne sais quoi and keep the basic stock parts. And that gives you a nice challenge. All right, we have reached our target apoapsis. Get ourselves out into space. Kerbal-sized real solar system. I have never heard about that, Felix. I'll have to look into that. I've never, and I think anyone who's watched any of my videos of me playing, any of my Let's Plays or any of my live streams, know that I'm not really into duplicating real-world spacecraft. I like to duplicate function, but not necessarily form. You know, this guy's pretty case in point. I mean, it's purely a stock vehicle. There isn't, I mean, there were designs of putting small space planes on top of boosters. That certainly is not a new idea to me. But it's not meant to emulate anything in particular. And I'm like that with everything. So that's kind of what holds me back from real solar system. It's just more having it still feel Kerbal. So if, what's it called again? KSRSS. If it's like Kerbal but real scale, well, that sounds like fun. What will be the next big mission after this, asks Salazar. Well, let's time warp to the final insertion here. So I want to build that space plane. That's sort of like my goal over the next 2 or 3 streams. And I find about 8 to 9 streams usually forms kind of like a season or a series for me. So when I get that space plane built and working, I'm going to probably call this series done. That'll be hopefully around the 9th stream in this current series. And then I got to pick something else to do to continue on with this. And I'm not 100% sure. The 2 things I'm considering is getting much more into resource harvesting, or I think I'm maybe sending some Kerbals out to Duna or something like that. I think that could be fun. All right, that is inserted. Close enough, 79 by 78. I'm going to just put this. Actually, no, we'll run the alignment script. There we go. Oh, and we'll rename this too. This is the, where's the rename thing? Rename. This is the Puff2-SN3. Accept that. Okay, we need to get ourselves, though. And again, that orientation was just for the solar panels, even though Oh, of course, that's completely wrong. Yep. The sun's got to be this way somewhere. Okay, so there we go. Sun's over there somewhere. All right, so we are in an orbit. You can see our orbit is in pretty darn close to the same plane as our target orbit. That's great. Our relative inclination is only 0.2 degrees. But I did not pay attention to where the target is. So, and in fact, this is kind of, we're in a lower orbit, so I can, and it's behind us. So, yeah, we're going to keep getting further and further away from it until we start to come around the other side. So let's set up a maneuver and see what we can do. Let's set this up. It was either get the inclination right, or so you can see how far apart our close encounter indicator, our closest approach indicators are. Let's pop ahead in orbit. Yeah, it's getting it. Gotta go all the way around. Yeah, we're gonna be in space for a little while. Oh, I should pay. Okay, these guys got supplies for a couple of days, so it's okay. Let's see here. Does this make it better? This makes it better. So we're not going to get this burn for about a little over 4 hours from now. 4.5 hours from now. I could do some fiddling about, but I'm not gonna. Let's see here. Get this as close as I can. It might be pretty darn close already, at least as close as it's going to get. I think I'm just going to live with that. I'm going to keep it simple. So 4 hours and 44 minutes away is this burn, but they got life support for 2 days, 3 hours, so it should be okay. Let's put the view this way. Let's make sure we do have this properly exposed for sunshine. And then we'll do some major time warping here. That should be good. Okay. And while this is going, we'll look at the chat. There we go. Okay. So KSRSS is real solar system planets, but for stock parts and for example... Oh, I see. So it's a Kerbalized but real solar system. That's a neat idea. So with a Kerbal scale. That sounds like fun. Okay, we are... Oh, I don't know why we just stopped. Oh, our batteries were low because it got out of alignment. Okay. We'll time warp again. Now batteries are coming back. So our time warping stopped there because of the solar panels weren't well exposed, and yeah, it doesn't seem to like to stay aligned with the sun like it's supposed to. Alright, so again, alarm clock is giving us an alarm here. Alright, I'm keeping this engine on here for now. How many ignitions? It still has 11 ignitions, and it still has 323 meters per second at delta V. No reason to get rid of it. Might as well keep using it. And our encounter here is still okay? I think so. So we'll get ready to do this thing. Let's get a little closer. I'm just going to put this right on prograde. And we'll keep an eye on our closest approach here. This really shouldn't be. Let's actually nerf this thrust up quite a lot. There we go, that's better. Alright. Okay, I'm going to start the burn 6 seconds early, and then we'll just go to half throttle, like that. We'll see if we can finish this off with some RCS. Oh, I actually overdid it. Backing off with the RCS is helping the distance here. Oh, I'm only seeing about 1.4. Let's see if I start using some lateral thrusts. Well, that's making it better. Somebody in the YouTube comments started suggesting doing that. Just like, why not just go laterally to help bring it down after you know, I always just focus on just doing prograde, retrograde to do these things. This is bringing it down. Just keep doing this. Should be lots of monopropellant on this thing. Oh yeah. We'll be at our, well, that's about it that way. What about the, yeah, that makes it better. Going sideways here. Thrusting to starboard. And again, I'm just watching this close approach distance. Oh, it's starting to go up. So let's half the distance here, and we'll try that again. We'll stop at about, I don't know, 6 minutes before. We're about 6 minutes from our closest approach. I should have turned RCS off while it oriented itself this way. There we go. Let's try again. Why does this open? Did I open that? I didn't think I did. Close that. That's weird. Okay, again, we'll try a little RCS, see if we can bring this encounter distance a little closer. So yeah, I'm thrusting down now. That's making it better. It's very hard to see. Actually, I guess I'm thrusting up. And bringing it's now under 1 kilometer closest approach. Space planes should be very useful for evacuating new casualties, crew casualties, although that's not always in the game. Yeah, that was a comment from John. There is some funny. I'm trying to remember what contract pack gives it, where it gives you that you need to evacuate the a station or evacuate specific people from a station because of some medical emergency. But what's funny is you have all the time in the world to do it. So how much of an emergency can it be? I always like to keep vehicles available for every Kerbal I have in space so that I don't have to send vessels to go rescue them, that they'll always have the vessels to get themselves back to Kerbin surface. So that's why I have so many of these types of things in space right now. Okay, our closest approach now is down to under 800 meters. Not a lot of thrust on these. Keep a look on the monopropellant, but lots of monopropellant still. I only have the little thruster blocks. How far are we? It's 8 kilometers away. There it is, way above us. This might be the more efficient way to do it, but I'm certainly getting kind of bored. We're not, by the way, it looks like I'm thrusting at this, but that is actually oh, it's getting worse now. That's actually really just a coincidence. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong buttons. That doesn't help. There. So now throttling, thrusting towards the port here. But we're actually not pushing it towards it like that. We're just closing in our trajectory here. It's now 660 meters, closest approach. I don't know. This is taking a long time. But I'm kind of committed now. And usually what I do is I get myself in closer and I just use the main engine to do this, which usually goes quicker. But, yeah, it'd be fun if the stock game sort of simulated an emergency where it just sort of said, you know, based on where you're at, it would be terrible if, you know, you're in orbit about Duna and it says, oh, by the way, your Kerbal's about to die in a day. Get them down to Kerbin's surface. But it'd be fun to simulate, I think, medical emergencies and sit there and say, you need, you know, depending on where you are, give you a reasonable amount of time to get yourself back. What if I did... Got too many fingers here going, but what if I did a little bit of physics warping here? That's, I think, helping. Go a little quicker. 440 meter closest approach. Oh, we're about to blow by. Oh my gosh. Shoot. Okay, that's it. No more playing around. Just main engine time. Oh my god, that was dumb. Wasn't paying any attention. Just getting lulled into a false sense of security. Okay, we're all fine. That was funny. I was sitting there watching my closest approach distance and not paying any attention whatsoever to the actual time too. I was just sitting there falling asleep at the switch. Okay. Oh, and I see in the comment there, BX Delta, watch out for that intersect timer. Yeah, it was getting kind of low, wasn't it? Once I started physics time warping, that was pretty dumb. Alright, we got this though now. Now, what I want to do is, of course, dock here. So we'll select that, pop on back here, set that as a target. Probably slow down a bit would be a good idea. Okay, which... No, I want this way a bit more. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Alright, let's open up our thingamadingies there. Our docking port. We'll select this as our control point. The last time I did this, this got all messed up. Not the last time, but I have had some issues with it. This time it's looking actually fine. I got a Navball docking alignment indicators, the name of this mod here, that puts on this little red doober there. And that's there to help you line up the two docking ports. So the two docking ports are now aligned. But I still need to bring it in. See, I'll need to come more this way. Don't need this. Right, still don't see any other information coming up. I think we're going a little quick. Yeah, I can see that. So I need to... that way. Oh, I can see the prograde icon now. This way. There we go. I can see the target icon beginning to appear up here on the Navball. And I blew right by. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Pushing the wrong way. Let's go back, go back, go back, go back. Had it backwards. Wow, you take a week off and you forget how things work. Coming back. Try this again. Okay, now I can see the prograde icon, and all I got to do really is chase that in. Hopefully this will all fit. I've never docked these two vessels together before. Feels like I'm off. I'm not sure why I would be. Come on. There it is. Okay, okay, okay. We're there. We are there, and they fit together okay, considering I never really planned on these two things ever getting together. Okay, let's transfer over our crew. So we'll start with Valentina. Valentina into the main cockpit here, and we will bring over Mac the G. And everybody else is actually probably back in here, right? Yeah. And Philippe. Oops. And dun, dun, dun. Joe. All right, that should be it. I don't think there's no equipment or anything I need to bring along. So we can now undock. And switch to this vessel, and this should now be all set. Back away a little bit. And we should be ready to go. Now I still got, what do I got here? I still got 476 meters per second left in this thing with 2 ignitions. So again, I might as well use it. There's a nuclear Nerv engine underneath this one, but might as well make use with what I got. Okay, we can bring up. Where's my Kerbal AOS? Down here somewhere. There it is. Bring this back. That one. Yep. Well, let's get ourselves to Minmus. So back to target selection. Celestial bodies. We are selecting Minmus. And we should be in a nice orbit for getting ourselves to Minmus. One thing we got to remember is where we parked our little space plane. So that when we come back, we'll have to dock with it again so we can get down to the surface. Okay. Other way. Okay, let's focus our view here on Minmus. Now we are targeting, let's bring it up, Minmus Station right here. I suspect our timing won't be great, but I don't care. Can't time everything right. There it comes. Adjust this so that we are smacking right into the center of Kerbin, or not Kerbin, of Minmus. But what we're going to need to do is make ourselves a plane change. Now, ideally, you want this trajectory to be in the same plane as coming in this plane of this polar one. You can see we're like not far off from 90 degrees to it, so this is as bad as it gets. The way you fix that is by just moving into the future. As you move into the future, the apparent position of this orbit moves, and you can get it to the point where this angle here is not so big. But you know what? I'm going to say screw it. I'm going to make the plane change when we get out to Minmus because I just don't care. We have mountains and mountains of Delta V. I really don't care about that. So we will be staging in the middle of this burn between this engine and then this engine. So I'm going to actually do this one manually. The burn is coming up in... Bump. In, what do we got? 23 minutes and 12 seconds. So let's get to that. All right. I'm saying maybe I can use FMRS to get more funds. I have tons of funds. My funding is, I've been sort of not even paying attention to contracts too much of late, but I got over 3 million Kerb bucks. Funds for me are not an issue. Okay. Here, now, which way do we got to point this thing? Turn the RCS off. We are pointing, I'm just putting it onto the maneuver node here. I'm going to do this manually because of the staging that's halfway through the burn. My script for executing maneuver nodes doesn't handle staging. I'd rather just do this. We're burning away from our little space plane, so that's a good thing. This burn's coming up in just under 2 minutes, so let's get to it. Check life support. I did not look at life support. They should have plenty. How come they only have 17 days of water? That's weird. Somebody said check life support like they knew something. They have 77 days of... Here, let's get the burn out of the way. I mean, they got enough to get the Minmus, but they got over 70 days of everything else except for water, which they only have 17 days for, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Of course, I didn't really check where things were at before I launched this thing, so it could be simply an oversight. There is a water recycler aboard. Maybe I just need to turn it on. I think there's a water recycler aboard. But one thing at a time. Burn time first. Burn time, and then we'll check on what the water situation is. Well, we can see our little space plane there. We're going to say goodbye and go. Goodbye, little space plane. We're off. We're just going to stick with this. What is this over here? We got something else. Maybe that's our station? Could be. I don't know. So much junk we have in orbit. I got a feeling that's our station, given that we're not getting away from it too fast. Okay, we're about to lose. There we go. On to the nuclear engine. Leaving a little bit of debris behind, but you know. Michael's saying that the water recycler doesn't show up in the calculations, which could easily be true, but I would still think they had lots of water, but maybe I put in less water than because I knew they had the water recycler. I don't know. We'll go investigate. We'll make sure they're fine. There's also tons of resources on Minmus Station itself, so I'm not worried. Sometimes I should be more worried than I am, I think. Okay, let's go watch this from Minmus's perspective here. Thrust here a little bit. Crossing radiation belts. Okay. Just used RCS to kind of finish this off. Cut a little early. That's okay. So clearly we'll make some form of correction burn. Not going to crack into Minmus just like that. But there's another thing I want to do. Here, let me get this thing lined up, and then I'll talk about the other thing I want to do. Come here. There we go. Oh yeah, I've got to check solar water. Run. Too many things. Okay. While that thing's lining itself up, let's check the water situation. So if we go into automate, this is everything you can turn on and off on here. And the water recycle, I do have the water recycler running. It just must not be working it in. Their water levels are full. So I'm going to say that where their water is by design. And it's just not working out the water recycling. So I'm not worried about it. It will make more water as they head out. But what I was saying is, if we take a look at Minmus here and our station here at Minmus Station, these guys have been collecting science around Minmus. It's been collecting science around Minmus for quite some time. And let me bring up our science archive. And one of the experiments that they were doing is called the site experiment. And for the site experiment, if I put this on Minmus, oh, they still got more to go. I thought they were done. All right, I'm waiting. I thought I checked this and thought it was done, but clearly I'm not right here. They're collecting, this is biome specific in high space, and I'm waiting for them to get this last bit of flats done. And to be honest, well, we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully they'll get this last little bit of flats done. I'm not sure if it's not really worth it. There's only 3.7 science left, but it's the minimalist in me. But once they go, what I want to do, because they are now in high space, is once they're done the site, I want to go down to low space, because I think there's, oh, I know what experiment they can do. They have the flight experiment. All these experiments, by the way, are coming from Kerbalism. And I've done the flight experiment in high space, but I've not done it in low space. So I want to move the whole station into low space, which isn't much of a move. Right now it's at 31.5 kilometer altitude. The boundary between high space and low space is only 30. And I was thinking I was going to move it right now, but I'm going to wait and see if they do that last bit of flight science. So what we're going to do is set up a correction burn. That's what we're going to do. And get out there. So add a maneuver here. I'm going to shift our target to the station. And we need to go what? North or south, or does it really matter? Let's pick one way and then we'll decide which way is the better way to go. So we got to move a little bit of a normal correction like so. And the way you can decide whether I'm going the right way or the wrong way is simply by looking at the angle here. My inclination difference is 97.4 degrees. If it's more than 90, it's more efficient to go the other way. So now my inclination difference is 82.6 degrees. Now, to be quite fair, that's barely any difference. But, you know, might as well go, because it's so close to 90, it really doesn't matter. But I might as well go where it's the most efficient. Okay, let's play around with this a little bit. I want this trajectory just to touch the orbit. Turn this right down. Right down. I'm pretty good with that. But we'll need to make a big plane change when we get there. This is a tiny 1 meter per second burn, which is nothing. We're going to do this with RCS. All right, let's get out there. I should have an alarm all set and ready to go. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Yep. Okay, so yeah, let's get out to that burn. So goodbye, Kerbin. Crossing radiation belts. Oh, we're getting a coronal mass ejection, but these folks will be fine. That's why the time warping's stopping. Keep getting time warping stopping. Oh, why are my batteries low? Nerv SN2. Sorry. Why would my batteries be low? No, my batteries are fine. I don't know what was... I don't know. You can actually look... Sometimes I miss these messages. You can actually look here. There's no more electricity on the Nerv 1 SN2. Probe. Oh, that's the stupid stage that I abandoned. I must have put a probe body on it. It ran out of batteries, which of course it would. Of course it would. Okay, we are at our burn. Is it normal or anti-normal? I can't remember which way I pointed. That's going the wrong way. I can see that. So, other way. Alright, so... Yep, I'm just going to keep it on. I don't have to wait for this timer to get down to 0 because the timing of this is no big deal. And it's a tiny little burn, so we're just going to do this with RCS. I'm just going to look at it from here. Put on RCS. We're going to hit H. That's all we're going to do. And this is nice. It saves ignitions on the main engine. RCS blocks, you never have to worry about ignitions. That's the great thing about monopropellant. There we go. Beautiful. And we'll run that alignment script again. What's their water situation now? Water's at 16 days. I don't know. We'll let it... They're fine. Let this get itself all sorted. I'm not sure this is right. Okay. Alright, let's get ourselves out to Minmus. Put this view on orbital. Minmus should be coming at us from over there somewhere. We are... There comes Minmus. I put my camera in a good spot. Oh, multispectral analysis, Minmus space high just got done. Not 100% sure what that actually was, to be honest. Okay, we are not quite in Minmus's SOI yet. Let's do that. There we go. And we're going to set up our capture here. And I think my trajectory is perfectly fine. I don't really see why. Yeah, all I want to do is just touch the orbit. So we're just going to put it right there where the two orbits are crossing. We're going to burn retrograde, but I'm not going to leave my Apple axis up pretty high because the further this is out away from Minmus, the cheaper my plane change is going to be. And I do have to make an 83-degree plane change. I just don't want it to be too far in the future. Let's give us more. That should be good enough. These guys got lots and lots and lots and lots of fuel. All right. So we're just going to come in. This burn is in just a few hours. Let's get down there. Water's now perpetual. That's what I like to see. Perpetual water. Okay. We're going to run our maneuver executor this time. We'll let that... Oh, whoa, whoa. Nope, nope. Stop, stop, stop. Control C. Close that. I think this thrust limit... Oh, I didn't turn down the thrust limiter. Sorry. I aborted that program for no good reason. Let's run it again. I thought I had my thrust turned down on this engine. So I was worried that it was going to do the burn wrong, but I don't have the thrust limiter down, so it's fine. Okay. Bring over this. And for those that may have forgotten, on Minmus Station we have 4 more Kerbals, all doing science. We have a lander that's fully fueled, ready to go back down to the surface to collect more science again. But what I really, really want to do, what am I at for science right now? I'm at 290. I want to get 500 science, and there's a ton of it sitting around on Minmus Station. In fact, I can actually switch to Minmus Station right here, just to show people. I love that you can do this with Minmus Station right there, and on the data front there. See, they're taking all of these samples in the science lab, and they're converting them to transmittable science, but it's taken them a long time. That science lab is working, right? Oh, the laboratory's been disabled. What happened there? I think it might have run out of electricity. Oh, probably it ran out of... There we go. Shoot. I think they ran out of disk space and it didn't turn itself back on. That's my mistake. I think they ran out of hard drive space and the lab turned off and all the scientists went, they threw up their hands and they went, "What you gonna do?" Well, might as well play cards. Okay, yeah, we just did that burn with all that. Oh, there's what I'm looking for. Okay. And let's do the plane change. And so the plane change is going to happen down around here. Oh, I just realized as well, I should have... maybe we'll do it at the same time. I should have, while I was doing this capture, pay attention to what my rendezvous was going to be like. But I didn't. So let's see if we can do it here. So I need... Let's see. Select that. I want this to get better. So that way is worse. This way is better. That, and then we'll use a little retrograde. Bring here. Let's use these guys. Bring that down. Yeah, I didn't overdid that. Okay. So a little bit more normal. Is that making it? That makes it better. That makes it worse. Oh, that's making it better. That's getting very close. Able to just do tiny little adjustments here. Okay, so we got our inclination pretty much right. We just need to give a little bit more prograde. I can see that. This needs to come up. So I want that 0 degrees, but I want... Oh, I think I can finagle an encounter out of this too while I'm at it. I think I'm getting lucky. These two are getting very close. So let's see if we can do everything at the same time here. Want that. Yeah, I need even less. There, I got a 0.2 kilometer separation. I have an inclination difference of 0. I got a little bit lucky because I wasn't paying any attention to my rendezvous when I did this capture, but it seems to be it's going to work out okay. So that's a 49 meter per second burn to match planes and do all that stuff. So let's get down there. This should be all set up for the solar panels. And yeah, let's get out there. So the maneuver's been set up. Okay. Burn coming up in a couple of hours. Here, let's put this on free. That looks better. Well, scientists just weren't doing their jobs. Okay, get ready to do the maneuver. Danica says he loves it when a plan comes together. I love it when I have the wrong plan and it works anyway. What I should have been doing when I was setting up that initial capture is paying attention to the rendezvous. I just didn't. I forgot to. I was only paying attention to what the plane change part. But it's all going to work anyway. So that's great. Okay, we got this coming up in just a couple minutes. So let's time warp to it. And all that's left is the rendezvous. If people want, we'll watch it from out here, because I always like this from watching it from out here. I think this looks... I love these kind of big plane changes from out here. So here's our current trajectory, the blue one, and the orange one's what we're shooting for. So about a few seconds to go. Martin says that he loves the voice mod. That would be Chatterer, putting in all the little Kerbal voices. I love it too. It just adds a nice little atmosphere. There we go. Plane change. I always like the way the periapsis dips into the surface of the planet whenever you do these big plane changes. Okay, and I should also be paying attention to our closest approach here. Okay, burn has ended. A 20, is that literally 28 meters? I was making sure this doesn't say kilometers. 28.4 meter closest approach in 3 hours and 46 minutes. Let's actually add an alarm for that. Give me about 5 minutes warning before we get there. Yep. So I don't boot on by. That is perfect right there. Nice. It's funny, when I set it up, it wasn't that good. It got better. The script actually did a better job than the maneuver node that I put in. I don't know how that happened. I'm just sort of, again, setting up the solar panels here. Making sure they're healthy and nicely exposed. But other than that, time to get down there and say hi to the folks at the station. Well, that must be our station there, blasting by below us. Nicey nice. Close. We don't need this, and we don't need this. Okay. I don't like how these numbers change whenever I hit time warp. It really, really bugs me. It's hard to sort of time warp to the point where, you know, I'm just going to lock this onto the retrograde vector relative to our target, which of course is the station. How far are we? About a minute and a half. We'll start slowing down soon. Okay. About a minute. I still think I can time warp a little closer. We should be able to knock off this speed without too much trouble. Okay, we're under a minute. Let's start slowing down. Oh, we're getting to the render spot here. There we go. That station's getting bigger and bigger, and with all the that's the thing that slows down this game the most, is having lots of parts being rendered at the same time. I think what we'll do is do a great big crew rotation when we get there. We're going to grab some of the samples, take them back to Kerbin and see what we got. So let's cut throttle here, get ourselves a little closer. I'm just keeping the thrust fairly light, just watching my time to my closest encounter. I didn't seem to watch that last time, so this time I'm paying some attention to it. Just knocking off most of this velocity. There we go. Got about a minute. So let's control from here. Pop over to the station. Now where are we coming at it from? I'm over there. Okay, we'll dock right here. Perfect. There's our dock spot. Lots of things docked to it. There's our SN1 spacecraft, the sister craft to the one that we're in. So we're going to be docking. Oh wait, set as target. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Okay, slow down. Good enough. All right, it's spinning around. This thing doesn't have the strongest of reaction wheels. Just a little set of them. Where do I have them tucked? They're in here somewhere. Here, I think? Yeah. Set of small inline reaction wheels, and that's it. I was very stingy. Okay, again, Navball docking alignment indicator. I was, I'll say, I'm not surprised, but still kind of disappointed when the final 1.12, the final updates came out, and a decent docking UI was not included. And I really just think that when it comes to this game, docking UI is not something that people really care that much about, only because most people don't do enough docking, and I think mostly because the game's UI makes it makes it difficult to dock. So if that isn't a catch-22, I don't know what is. Quick save, please. Why quick save? Well, maybe. But maybe quick save in worry of Kraken attack. I don't have a quick... I don't know. Does it bug people that I don't quick save more than I do? There's definitely times where I've been in situations where something terrible has happened, Usually a Kraken attack where I go, why didn't I quick save? Here, I'll quick save right now. All right, where are we here? Getting close. Honestly, I think I'm just going to load everybody into this other vehicle, and I'm just going to head on out. Slow down a bit. Whoa, whoa, this way a bit more. Slow down a bit more. There we go. A little better than my last docking. Boink. Okay, and toggle that torque while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we got vehicles everywhere. Yes, so let's shut down this engine. And let's think about what we're going to do with the cruise. So I'm going to use this vehicle here. This is the SN1. Let's get... We got 8 Kerbals here, I'm pretty sure. So let's get Jebediah. Oh, I just EVA'd Jebediah. Oh, well. Let's just get him inside right away again. That was silly. Why did I do that? Let's get Jebediah. Here we go. Jebediah into here. We'll get our engineer. Everybody that's here has been down to the surface of Minmus. Steven can go in here. And then we can take our 2 scientists. Dan. Even though they stopped working. And John N. Both of them stopped working when the hard drive was full. And now we'll take our current scientists here. I'm not 100% sure both these guys are scientists. Ah! There. Put them in there. Uh-oh. There he goes. And Joe. And Valentina should be in here. And it's important to get them out of... Actually, this is all shielded. I think everything here is actually shielded against radiation. So I actually don't have to move them into here, but going to anyway. Now, is Mac the G a engineer? No, Mac the G's a scientist. I got this backwards. Okay. Joe must be an engineer. Yes, okay. Joe into there. Mac the G into here. All right, and then I want to collect some of this science. So how are we doing for our data here? Well, they've done a fair amount of transfers, just stuff. Oh, I should have brought up. I remember this got suggested in the last stream to bring up a faster antenna. The fastest antenna on this thing is somewhere. It is the... I completely lost it. There it is. That's my fastest antenna, the DTS-M1. I should have brought up a faster one so we can get rid of this stuff more quickly. And I neglected to do that. But what I want to do is collect some of this science and just bring it down to the surface. So, let's see here. Let's transfer over... Let's turn off the pressure control in this capsule. And we'll send over a scientist. Pressure control off. And we're going to EVA. I think Philippe should be in there. Oh, how did Philippe... Oh, no, that's right. Oh, my gosh. I'm getting all my Kerbals mixed up. Who's down here, then? John and Dan are down there. Getting Kerbals mixed up. There's Dan. EVA Dan. Make sure Dan has monopropellant. Okay. And we're going to go over here. Oh, actually, I don't think... Oh, good point. Where is the science all stored? Ooh, I think it's stored all over the place. Shoot, I didn't think about this. Why am I even doing this? You can transfer stuff without... Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, where is the science? Okay, let's transfer data here. She doesn't have anything. Let's go to this one. Transfer data here. I think I just wanted to do an EVA. Okay, she doesn't have anything. Where are our science samples? Board. Okay. Where are all these science samples? They are on there. Can I transfer just some stuff? Oh no, some of it's in the lander. Oh no, that's... Okay, that's data. Sorry, there we go. We have greenstone here. That's a good spot for it. Nope. Okay. I think I'm just going to go. I think... Sorry, I know I'm really confusing myself here. The important one is the greenstone, get it back to Minmus's or Kerbin surface because I have a contract for it and I can see the greenstones in here. So you know what? I'm just going to take it. I think we're good. Oh, and the asteroid sample. The asteroid sample's in there too. Good. So let's just go. Let's just leave. Undock. I am making my life way more complicated than it needs to be. Going home. Let's go home. TR. Back away. Can transfer this stuff. We picked up some data too, but that's okay. We can transmit that away. All right, we're good. I was going to use a scientist to transfer all the science stuff around and then realized they didn't need to. Oh, I should have grabbed some parachutes too. Okay, Dan, you're going to grab... Oh, no, that doesn't work. Okay, sorry. I need parachutes. I am making my life way too hard. Set as a target. Sorry, I just looked aboard here and only Jebediah had the foresight to bring a parachute with him. It is so easy to mess up the gear. Turn on pressure control again. Okay. All right, let's try this all again. Check supplies. I just saw that, John. I did check supplies just there. So I think we're good for supply. Okay, let's do this right. So we need some parachutes. So, just in case things go badly, it would be really, really a dumb reason for a Kerbal to die to not have parachutes aboard. So there's... Oh, look at all the spare ones we got here. 1, 2 parachutes. Okay, and in our 4 cabin, Steven needs a parachute. We got a spare one there. I took the parachutes off so they didn't have the weight of them when they went down to Minmus's surface, and then I forgot temporarily to give them back. Now they got parachutes. Back away. Try this again. They have parachutes. They have plenty of supplies. These guys also have a water recycler board, which should be on. It is, so water's not an issue. They got 40 days of food, 61 days of oxygen. They also have 1,321 meters per second of delta V left. That's not a problem. So they should be able to get themselves back to Kerbin. So let's start thinking about... I got still the station set as a target here. Can I unselect that? Nope. Okay, there we go. So let's start thinking about getting ourselves back to Kerbin. Again, the best time to leave would be when this orbit is the plane of the orbit that you're in when you're in a polar orbit like this is parallel to Minmus's orbit about Kerbin, and this is again about as bad as it's going to get. I'm not in the mood to wait. So let's think. Which... why did I put this in a polar orbit? Oh yeah, so I can land in any biome I wanted to. That's why. I think probably the best place to do the burn would be about here. Let's try. Let's see. How long do I have to wait here to get my ideal window, or should I just say screw it and go? That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, it's like what? Like 180 to get back to Kerbin? Something like that. I'm clearly not burning in the right spot because we are ejecting ourselves. Okay, let's start playing with the timing of this because this is clearly in the wrong spot. Yeah, we're just blowing ourselves out. That's not good. That's not what we want. I could do just a normal or a radial burn, like kind of just burn this direction anyway, but I'm thinking, let's just see what happens if I start just popping ahead orbits here. This is, yeah, it gets better as I do this. Maybe I don't have to wait too long. There we go. Okay, it's getting better as I do that. And we're 5 days, 6 days. Honestly, it's probably best to just stay on the station, isn't it? I'm giving myself saying, let's go back to the station because I think that's probably going to be the best plan. But I don't want to. Okay, let's do this again. We're going to try it the different way. So if I stick around for about 8 days, these orbits will be in the right spot. But let's try something a little different, a little bit more dumber. What happens, because in order to leave, I got to go burning off in this direction. So what if I just took this normal vector and just kind of did that? It's just left like really soon. A little bit more. Yeah, like this. See how that gets you more or less going in the right direction? Is this going to be... This will be more expensive, but it might be lazier. And I might be just in a lazy kind of mood. I'm in a lazy mood. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. It's only 280 meters per second, or thereabouts. Now what I'd like to do is dock with my little space plane down here. So I kind of would like to come in that plane. See how it goes. Let's play around. I'm going to do this. There we go. So let's see, timing-wise. No, that makes it worse. This is the brute force way of doing this. Adjust the plane here a little bit by just adjusting the timing. And then I want to do some aero braking. Because I'm already doing this in a very inefficient way, I might as well try and pretend. We'll put this at about 45 kilometers. So we'll use the air to kind of slow us down here. There we go. So that will get us in pretty darn close to the same plane as our little space plane that we left in orbit about Kerbin. And the burn is coming up in only about 49 minutes. And we are burning in a very unorthodox direction, but it's only costing us 274 meters per second. I don't care. This is getting away with the whole, getting away with the fact that Minmus has a very low gravity or very shallow gravitational well. Force of gravity. Gravitational field's not very strong around Minmus. I'm sort of taking advantage of that. Am I doing this? Oh, I probably don't have reaction wheels turned on. I'd do it. Toggle on the torque. There we go. I'm asking by Abode YT, can I make a KOS tutorial? Honestly, there is a YouTuber named Cheers Kevin, and his KOS tutorials are just excellent. I honestly don't think I could do it. I know I couldn't do as good a job as he does. Coding is not really my area of expertise. I can definitely be described much more as a enthusiast. Maybe even a hobbyist would be too strong a word. I know much less about coding than I do about physics and math. So, but I definitely check out Cheers Kevin if you're looking for some tutorials. Okay, let's see. Let's 48 minutes to the burn. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Here, keep that handy. There we go. There we go. Yep. Let's get to it. Vatsal says, what is KOS? KOS is Kerbal Operating System, which is the scripting language that I am using to do things like running this maneuver executor and stuff. You can write your own programs and execute them within the game, which is a heck of a lot of fun if you... And if I was about to say, if you know programming, or if it's a fun way to learn programming as well, I would say. Okay, run... our computer script. So this is the terminal for KOS. No active engines. That would be a bad thing. Okay, let's activate that engine. And I got all kinds of errors going on. That's because I write crappy software. Let's try that again. There it goes. One thing I do want to make sure of is, where's the station? That's not the station. There's the station. So we're pointing in the non-threatening the station direction. You see, this burn is mostly normal. Almost entirely. Maybe it is entirely, I don't know. So an unorthodox way to leave Minmus. But that's a good way for us to finish off, I think. With an unorthodox Minmus exit. And how much science do these folks have aboard? That is an excellent question. They're transmitting some. And there's still some left on the station. Okay, this is all trivial, what's being here. Yeah. But they got 105 science with the greenstone, 55 science from a surface sample, 15 science from a mystery goo from somewhere. Gosh, where's that mystery goo from? I've had that forever. From the sun space high. Oh my gosh. Some of this stuff, some of this science is taking a pretty roundabout journey to getting where it is right now. 45 science from space high about the sun, and then 62 science from an asteroid that was in low orbit about the moon that we sampled. Science from everywhere. All right. We are on our way out of here. How is this? Oh. Always remember when you're leaving Minmus or the moon, wanting to get back to Kerbal, you always want to eject yourself. You know, Minmus is coming around in this direction, so that's the direction you need to eject yourself. And here I'm doing it in a not quite so efficient way, but in a time efficient way. Not a fuel efficient way, but a time efficient way. And I think it's going to work out all right. Let's look at it from here. Woo! Okay, burn is complete. Get rid of that. That is 44 kilometers. I think that's pretty good. The more important thing is that I am coming in. I set now the plane as a target. Our intersection with this plane's orbit is, we're very close to being in the plane of the plane's orbit. But in the meantime, we are on our way out. There we go. We are on our way leaving Minmus. We're leaving Minmus Station. We will have to, obviously, we'll be doing some aerobraking. We'll be re-rendezvousing with our little space plane. We'll be getting these folks back down, plus the science that we've collected. This time I will try to remember to take the science into the plane with me. And then we'll come back here to these folks and see what other science we can collect down from Minmus's surface. But all of that is going to have to be for the next stream. So I'm going to thank everybody that's in the stream. I'm going to thank everybody that's watching this at a later time. Don't forget, in 2 days on Wednesday, it's going to be a 10-hour stock marathon of me just trying to land on as many different planetary bodies as I can. We'll see how that goes. It's something I've never tried before. Should be fun. So I hope to see you then. I hope to see you Thursday. But for now, thank you everybody, and we'll see you all later. Bye.